Yeah, it's me, Real Terrible. I'm back here with Ace Attorney Apollo Justice. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Damn it! I was doing so well for so long. Before I begin in this episode, which I'm excited for, I gotta turn the headphones down first. Oh wait, they don't go very quiet. I can turn the volume down on the emulator. Wait, oh. The volume is on the max on the emulator. That explains a lot. Okay, it doesn't need to be that quiet. That's better. It should probably be the same for you. Don't worry about any of that. Anyways, before I begin this episode, I just want to briefly rant about something that I'm really excited for and also fix my camera. DDLC Plus. At the time of recording, this is July 3rd. Not to put a date on it and show you how behind on my editing I am, but I've done that now, so rip me. I'm very excited for that, and I definitely want to record it when it gets here because I think it's already out on PC like 3 days ago or something. It was, but I got it on Switch and it hasn't arrived yet. So when that happens, which who knows when that is, I'm probably gonna just drop everything and record a big video of it and edit it all. I don't know if you have to unlock the extra side stories. I thought I saw something about that somewhere, but I'm averse to looking anything up at risk of spoiling any of it. So my hope is that because the last time I played through the actual main story was 2 or 3 years ago. So I don't remember it flawlessly, it just happened yesterday, but it's also not soon enough that I would be super interested in replaying the main story. But if I have to do that to unlock the stuff, I'll probably do it. I might not do it on camera, but whatever. But I would absolutely love to record that and put it up here for all of us to partake in, because that would be super exciting. I don't know how long all the extra content is. They just say hours on the website. I'm assuming that each side story, because there's one for each combination of characters, meaning 6 in total, each pairing, I'm guessing they're not going to be extremely long, so I might be able to just blaze through them all and record them all in one episode, and that would be a lot of fun, I think, but I have no idea, and we'll know when it gets here. But for now, we should be playing this game instead of talking about the other game that I'd like to play. And all that to say, it may be that video comes out before this one, if that arrives before I have gotten to editing this one, because at that point I'm just going to edit it and put it up regardless of the fact that I still have these videos to edit. So you may see that before this anyways. But enough of that. I don't know why I just saved, but it's fine. This guy just rubs me in all the wrong ways. There is no correct way this man rubs me, and I'm uncomfortable being around him, which is why I hope we can leave soon. Can smell a scoop from miles away, and he's got a good nose on him too. That doesn't instill me with confidence. So we just came here to see Vera Misham, and we instead bumped into this poor fellow. That's a thing. I can't remember, and we've just talked to him about all the things that we can talk about. So I don't know if I can't imagine, was there anything else we were supposed to show him? All I wanted to do was meet him, really, because he's going to be a witness in the trial of tomorrow. Guess we could ask him what he knows about some things. Do you know anything about this poisoned picture frame? Right. Let me go on the record here. Yes? I know what you're going to say. Brushel, take this. Write brilliant column. End quote. I don't think so. Look, buddy, I read brilliant columns about one thing, and that's food. Try to understand. What could he possibly be writing? He didn't listen to a word I said. Interesting. He only writes about food? Interesting. I did not know that. I do now. Oh, he's just staring at me. Stop it. Stop it. Right, so there wasn't anything else. I mean, we want to talk to Vera, but I guess... Wait, maybe can we show him the card and that will prompt him to get the hell out of the way so we can talk to our client? Is that a possibility? Never mind. Sorry, it's been a little bit since the last episode I recorded, so it's possible that my immediate memory of what we were supposed to do just before this is not all together there. Phoenix? What do you make of this stuff? Never mind. Wait a dang second. I may have to go around and just show everybody everything because I kind of forget what I'm doing. Oh, I went back to Drew Studio. Emma's not here, I guess. October 7th, Drew Studio. Never mind. Well, how'd it go? Find anything out? Not really. Actually, there was one thing I wanted to check with you. What's with that scary face you were making? And what's with the I know something but I'm not telling face you've got going, Emma? Never mind, we're talking here. Oh, wait, never mind, we're not. Sorry. Apparently I'm a bit off my game here. What was I wanted to ask about her? Did it too? Red envelope. You're right. I just moved the window, damn it. I was trying to hit percent. There is new stuff for this dialogue for the painting that was hidden. This painting came from behind that dresser. Yes. So? It was stolen, no? Oh, right, because okay, right. I was hoping you wouldn't figure that out. Do you think you could tell us a bit about this? I suppose. It's what you think. Drew Misham was a forger. A forger? Yeah, that certainly seems to be, like, I thought there was something implied about this. Well, poor Vera. Forger. It's replaced whatever our first bit was. So what exactly is a forger? Someone who replicates other paintings and is like, hey, look at this antique. As I understand it. Well, basically, it's someone who makes forgeries. Fakes, in other words. Fakes? Copies of an original. Exact copies, so precise you can't tell them apart. Well, why not just photocopy them? The big problem with forgeries is that people try to sell them as the real article. It's a crime, of course. So, Drew Misham was a criminal? I'm afraid so. He received money to create elaborate forgeries. To supplement his work in illustration, I guess. I see. Actually, that's why I brought this here in the first place. What do you mean? You were going to try and detect if there was some kind of like sketch layer on the beginning or on the base of the painting to tell if it was a forgery or not, I guess? When you're trying to determine if a painting is a forgery, the rough sketch underneath can be a valuable clue. Right, okay. So the rough sketch is like practice for the real thing. Like doing a magic trick in front of a mirror before you go on stage. But not in the case of a forgery. Not necessarily, anyway. You know what the finished project is going to look like, after all. Oh, yeah, I guess you would. That's why I brought this. I'm going to use it to see what's under the paint of the finished pieces. I get it now. Not that I really needed to go to such lengths, seeing as how one of the paintings was only half finished anyway. Still, it'd be neat to see Mr. Misham's rough sketches. Yeah, I mean, because it doesn't look like the painting beneath at all. So wait, you were just trying to scan those to prove that they were forgeries, I guess? Wouldn't the existence of the other one be proof enough? Kind of like what he was drawing when he thought no one was looking. True. That would be interesting. And maybe valuable for our case. You should try buttering her up, Apollo. Flattery will get you everywhere, they say. Maybe I should ask Emma to help us out. Oh, again. Okay, cool. Does no problem with me there. I have some butter for you, madam. Emma, about this painting from behind the dresser there. Ah, yes. It's what you think. Wait, this is the same dialogue, but I'm not allowed to skip it. Oh, okay. Oh, wait a minute. This is the one that has the sketch layer underneath it. Sorry. Sorry. Man, I'm a little spacey today, aren't I? Let's try and fix that. Maybe I need to drink water. All right, I just spilled water all over my face. I've never been more awake. I kind of wanted to see the rough sketch under this painting, and I was wondering if your tool there might do the trick? Oh, fine. Just this time, though. And the other times. Let's check it out. I mean, let's start with this one, shall we? But I mean, they're all gonna be, there's no harm in doing all of them, I guess. Whoa, they look like you can like see mountains. All right, let's wait till, that's the wrong way. Excuse me, everyone, sorry. Pardon me for my insolence and stupidity. All right, let's start with this. Bling. Wait, did I miss a layer? Nah. I still don't see what it is exactly. Looks like a bunch of scribbles so far. There might be a mountain somewhere in here or a cave, but I can't really tell. Oh, or a sword maybe? Is that someone with a sword? Like a really big Zweihander or something? Or Zweihander, however it's said. Actually, I can't really tell what this is supposed to be. Someone playing some kind of instrument? Is that all? Okay. While they're on fire and standing on the tower. Oh, wait. Is it supposed to be Gavin? Okay, let's print this one out. That's certainly weird. What the heck? Wow, he really blows. The finished painting isn't anything like the rough. Devices like mine didn't exist until recently. He probably thought he could draw any sort of thing he wanted for the rough. What do you mean? Well, in the past, you could only analyze the composition of a rough sketch. Composition? In other words, the traces of charcoal between paint and canvas. So you could tell if there had been a rough sketch, but not what it looked like. I think I follow you. So, in essence, it wouldn't matter what was underneath the finished painting. Right, okay. Some pros would actually paint out a rough sketch entirely, then do a completely new painting on top of that. So Mr. Misham was drawing whatever he wanted before painting over them, but then why put any effort into it, right? If you weren't even going to sell that. Possibly. Is there a problem with that? Not particularly, but something about the sketch itself is kinda odd. You're awfully silent all of a sudden, Apollo. You think we could check out one of the other paintings? Well, sure. You like this detection stuff, don't you? Yeah, a fish, or a porcupine fish, or whatever the the actual, whichever one works. I don't know if those are distinct species. I do not know enough about fish, but I do like knowing facts about fish, because fish, all kinds of weird stuff lives in the ocean. Mostly scary stuff, I tend to think, but not always. It's not the same, but I sense some similar... I mean, maybe that's just how sketches look, but... Well, let me hold my judgments until... Oh my god. This isn't someone holding a noodle stand by chance, is it? Oh, this is getting weird. Hang on, wait. If that would... No. If the first one has anything got to do with borscht or cards, like if the other painting, the abstract one, I'm going to be very concerned here. Okay, let's print this one out. No. This one too. What's wrong, Apollo? You look so serious all of a sudden. You think I could just look at the last of these? Fine by me, knock yourself out. Oh my god! This is going to be weird. I'm actually kind of tense about this. Does that mean someone's been following us around? Or someone's taken a particular interest in our cases? If that's the case, then I have a feeling that Gavin is probably... Oh my god! That's a hand of cards! What is going on? Kristoff must have something to do with this then. Perhaps he's the one who was paying Misham off? But then why bother with the sketches? Wait, hang on. Okay, obviously I don't have any of the facts here, but this is no pun intended. Oh, well, it's pun intended if I've already said no pun intended, but this is sketchy as hell.
What the heck is all this?
I hesitate to ask why you're getting so excited. You sure your device isn't leaking some kind of strange radiation?
Trucy!
Look at these 3 sketches. Do you notice anything? One, 2, 3. Ah! There! Now you're both white as sheets. What's going on?
These sketches are the 3 cases I worked on.
What?
The murder in the poker room at the Borscht Bowl Club, the dead man pulling the noodle stand, and then the events that transpired during the Governor's concert.
What could it mean? How could he have painted those things? And why?
That's what I want to know.
Wait, is Drew Misham your father?
Give me a break. Does that seem even remotely possible to you?
Is that where... Oh my god, are we gonna... I hope we're getting to the trial today, because we've spent 2 episodes investigating already. Good gracious, I need to hurry it up.
I'd never even heard of any Drew Misham before. I hadn't even seen a picture of him. But there were my cases drawn on his canvas. Every single one of them.
Well, Trucy is also a common factor between the 3. It's weird altogether, but it may not be you that's the common line here. You, Trucy, and Phoenix are all linked to all 3 cases.
It couldn't have been a coincidence. Just who was this Drew Misham? And what did he have to do with me?
Court time. Oh. And as usual, we know absolutely not a damn thing. We don't have any theories or nothing. We're just going to be going on. We're just going to be trying, just scraping upon every little fact we can possibly find in testimony. And unfortunately, testimony is going to be given by... that one. October 8th, 9:48 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 6. Oh, this is going to be wild, isn't it?
Good morning.
So, you're Vera, right? I'm Trucy. Trucy Wright. That's right with a W. But not right? We're on your side. You can tell us anything. Please?
Good morning. She speaks!
Not bad. But I think you do better with a little smile, you know? You're so pretty. You need to sell yourself, you know?
Trucy, let's take it easy for starters.
Oh, is she a sketch artist?
Thank you for taking my case. Okay. Well, that's a start, I guess. Here she goes with the nail polish again.
That's great, really. It's so cultured.
Want to try?
Ooh, really?
Girls.
I can't believe that's what your complaint is here, Apollo. And not the fact that, holy crap, can we please have some report facts about the crime? Something about that nail polish is very sketchy also. Why would they even bother with a little graphic for it? I guess just for humor, but seems like foreshadowing to me for some reason. It probably isn't.
The victim, Drew Misham, was a forger, and a stolen painting was found in his studio. A life of crime, really. And maybe one that led to his death.
October 8th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. All right. What do you got to say about this, Clavier?
Well, we will now begin the trial of Vera Misham.
Is the judge okay? His voice is all raspy, and he's looking around all nervous-like.
The repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time, and may indeed alter our legal system forever.
Today is a test of the juris system, and the first step toward a new order in our courts. Daddy's secret mission. The jurists will function like a jury. It is hoped their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will.
Why aren't there any jurists in the courtroom?
3 closed-circuit cameras watching this courtroom at all times. Is it just watch? Maybe I read that wrong, sorry. The jurists have access to everything that transpires. Jurists! Judge Well and Judge Cool.
Now, see here, Prosecutor Kevin, I was going to say that.
My apologies here, Judge.
Jurists, today, judges today's trial coolly, if you would be so kind.
Their jurists are unbound by the letter of law. They don't affect the trial with evidence, but by their feelings. We're about to find out just what effect they're gonna have.
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. The details of the case, if you would.
The victim is the painter Drew Misham. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? By none other than the defendant, Vera Misham.
Objection! There wasn't any poison in the coffee.
Achtung! Someone has been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself.
The mug? Residue was found on the rim, I see.
The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death.
The court accepts this as evidence.
Mission's autopsy report added to the court record. Right, because there was all that stuff last time about Emma said it took 15 minutes to happen, but the autopsy said that, but the other reports said that he died like instantly. Okay, well this is pretty weak. October 6th between 9 and 9:30, atroquinine poison. Well, that's, I was hoping there'd be like slightly more than that.
According to this report, the victim's death was caused by atroquinine poisoning.
A chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal dosage is a mere 0.002 milligrams. Jeepers! A touch of atroquinine in the body is the touch of the Reaper's scythe. Well, way to be respectful of the dead and not trying to be all poetic about it.
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. You may present your witness.
Please don't present your witness. I have for you today a simple man for a simple case. A man who witnessed the murder in its entirety.
A journalist, no doubt. Jesus Christ.
The witness will state his name and occupation. And please stop doing that with his nose. Right. Well, for starters, my name's Spark Brushel. My job is a lone observer of the world.
In other words, a freelance journalist, right?
If you don't mind, I'd like to state something here. For the record, he's looked a little more antsy than he did yesterday, and that's saying something.
Yes, Mr. Brushel?
I just like conclusions, specifically the jumping to aspect of conclusions. Preconceptions make park sandbox of endless desert waste. End quote.
But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday.
I love how he's just like desperately like, please just work with me on one thing.
Well, that's true, yes. But you must understand, I stand before you today, a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Scoop turns Mr. Brushel into that Mr. Brushel, end quote.
I don't think this was priorly discussed.
Let's hear your testimony then, shall we?
A simple case, eh, Gavin? For me, the jury is still out.
Nice one, Apollo. The journalist story, witness testimony. All right. Here goes nothing.
I visited the studio around 9 to do that night. Sorry. I visited the studio around 9 that night to do the interview. The first outsider to enter the atelier. Journalistic history made. End quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next? Star falls. End quote. No one else entered the room besides her the whole time.
I dislike that testimony because it all fits up with what I know.
That does sound like a simple case. Unless you were the one who poisoned him. What are you saying, Judge? Need I remind you, the cameras are rolling today. I felt the need to be a bit dramatic.
You didn't do it, did you?
Me do a thing like that? Come on, that's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know, wild accusations rock courtroom, end quote.
Rock indeed. Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun.
I'm so happy for him.
Sorry, that went a little Madeline there.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Your cross-examination, please.
Okay, we gotta press on some of this. I visited the studio around 9 that night to do the interview. Well, I mean, I guess, okay, yeah. The first outsider to enter the atelier, journalistic history made, end quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started, so that holds up with what we know because the death happened roughly around then. And you know what happened next. Star falls, end quote. Well, that's not solid testimony, but I'll push on that in a moment. No one else entered the room besides her the whole time. I also want to push on that. He sure makes it sound exciting. I guess that's his job.
There's only one moment we need to focus on, really.
The moment when Drew Misham died?
Exactly. There has to be something there.
I'm not entirely sure that's true when you're talking about poisoning and setting up poison and poison being found in picture frames that are all the way across the room. I think you're wrong, Apollo, but for the moment. And you know what happened next, Star falls, end quote.
Hold it! What's this about a star falling?
Star falls, huh? It's like an old telegram. Send money, over.
Zowie, you don't know? That's like a journalism code word. An important personage passes away. A star falls. Get it?
But there's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars could fall, really.
Does this matter?
Oh boy, this is good stuff, good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, lacks punch. I know, star dies. Nah, lacks imagination. Of course, you could go with Drew dies, straight to the point, I like it.
I think we need to hear about something a little more substantial.
The moment of death, Brussels coffee. The star's coffee. Well, that would be Drew's coffee, right? I actually am interested in all of these. I'm guessing the moment of death would just be a whole lot of Whoa, the moment of death, was it instant or like 15 minutes? Let's start with your coffee, though. I mean, we can just do them all, right?
So you drank the coffee that Vera served you, too?
Of course. When someone serves you coffee, you drink it. That's what my old boss used to say. Never did get what he meant by it, though.
I'm pretty sure it was very literal.
But you're still alive, which is to say you didn't die.
You're still alive, which is to say you didn't die. That's an exceptional quote.
Of course not. No point falling before you're a star, end quote.
That's not exactly what I was getting at. What were you getting at, then?
You know the poison was on the rim, not in the coffee.
Oh, yes. There were 2 cups on the tray she brought, and one of those cups had Drew's signature painted on the side.
No chance the guest would take that one by mistake, I guess.
Well, Mr. Justice, was that testimony important?
I mean, it does have a signature on the side, right? That's not wrong. Yeah, Misham, I guess that says. I don't think it was as important as the other ones.
Not really. So Brush will drink the coffee, too. Doesn't look like this is going to lead to much.
Very well, please continue with the testimony.
I do want to go back to that, actually, and pick one of the other ones. As we know, the Star's coffee should also have nothing in it, so it should be more or less the same, but I may as well push on this because I'm interested.
You say Mr. Misham had the coffee too, but did you actually see him drink the coffee?
Of course. He who sees it wins, but he who says it wins bigger, end quote. I live in a man sees dog eat dog and writes about it world, yet? I guess I can't say I saw him drink it, really. He had one so-called sip, if that. Man puts lips to mug, drinks, end quote.
That poison is quite virulent, I hear. Virulent, yes. We looked that up last time. Was that also in Apollo Justice that I looked up that word? Goddamn. I just hate saying it.
My stomach did a so-called somersault, since I gulped down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there, some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess, for the record?
Does this guy have a pause button?
I hope so. I hope we find it.
Well, Mr. Justice, did you find that testimony valuable?
Well, I mean, the fact he said he didn't really see him drink the coffee, but we know the poison was on the mug anyway, so I would say no.
The coffee Mr. Misham drank. That has to be important somehow. Yeah.
Very well, please continue with the testimony.
Well, the way they said that makes it sound like it is important, but I do want to hear just the third point really quickly before we add any more.
Hold it!
The moment of death. What can you tell me about anything else about it? Perhaps, I mean, the autopsy says the death was by poisoning, so I would think that's probably true.
About when Mr. Misham passed away.
Oh boy, what a scene that was! He puts his coffee mug down with a crash, right? Yes, and then? And the cold finger of death touches his spine. Life's flame sputters and falls. So cold was that touch he could not do.
Damn it. Sorry. It's so hard to speak with this guy staring at me.
So cold was that touch he could do naught but tremble uncontrollably. Actually, Life's flame is a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, that's a go.
I think he's starting his article already.
Could you describe that a little more simply?
Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist seizures, final performance. End quote.
Atroquinine paralyzes the central nervous system. The body arches back like a bow, the limbs tremble, the throat burns.
That's quite enough of that. Some of us want to be able to sleep tonight. Oh yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details.
For that, you can listen to our last year's hit single, Atroquinine My Love by the Governors, available at all major music outlets.
The point here is that the victim died of atroquinine poisoning. Well, Mr. Justice, how did you find that testimony?
Okay, after all, I think probably the fact that he didn't take a drink of the coffee really was more important.
You'd think the moment of Mr. Misham's death would be important, but Mr. Brushell's story really didn't tell us anything we didn't already know.
Very well, please continue with the testimony.
Right, well, just before I add that other one that I wanted to add, I also want to push on this.
Hold it!
About no one else entering the room.
Can you say that for sure?
For sure? Sure, I'm sure. True Studio isn't a big place, kiddo. I'd know it if someone else had come in.
What if they had been hiding in there from before?
Even if someone had been hiding in the studio, they hardly could have poisoned that mug without anyone noticing. Well, they didn't have there are other ways.
You think Iceberg Brushel would miss something as obvious as that? No way.
You sure makes it sound exciting. Oh wait, this is back to this. All right, so that didn't turn out as important as I thought. Let's go add something from this. I say we add the Misham didn't actually drink any of it to the testimony. Although I guess that, like, once again, that doesn't really necessarily mean anything important because we already know the poison was on the outside of the mug, but
very important. Let's say that. The victim drank his coffee, then immediately fell over.
Oh, right, he immediately fell. This is the thing I was saying. Like 15 minutes is what it was supposed to. Right. Okay, we do have a piece of evidence that actually says that the poison is slow, which is good because I was worried that I was imagining that for a bit. Okay, good.
Oh yes, you can go out to press with that one.
Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Please add it to the testimony.
Very well. The witness will add this to his testimony. Vital, right. He had one sip, if that. The next moment he was on the floor.
Can't be possible.
Objection! You know what I have a problem with? A particular property of the poison used, atroquinine.
Oh, Prosecutor Gavin was quite clear about the poison. A lethal dosage of 0.002 milligrams poisons the central nervous system. Sorry, paralyzes. If you drank that, even you, Mr. Justice, will be reduced to a quivering pile.
Why are you using me as an example? Unfortunately, we weren't told everything. There was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information.
An omission?
Atroquinine is as virulent as he says, but death doesn't come upon ingestion. Not immediately. That's because atroquinine is slow acting.
Slow acting? What?
According to one forensic scientist.
That's all my research.
It's one of the most virulent poisons, but it is absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show.
I'm glad I made a mental note of that last episode. That was last episode, right? Because that seemed very important at the time, and still does. I mean, obviously still does.
If we suppose the moment Mr. Misham sipped the coffee was when he sealed his fate, then he would still have had time to left to enjoy his last cup of joe.
Oh my god, this guy's profile, or from the back.
Order! What's the meaning of this? If what the defense says is correct, why that contradicts the entire testimony we've just heard.
Well, Mr. Brushell, anything to say? On the record?
Slow acting.
S-L-O-W-A-C-T. It was virulent, all right. Even then, it had already begun digging its claws into the journalist.
He's working on his scoop. It's Brushel, yeah? Here, Brushel, let's take a trip back down memory lane.
Huh?
Did the victim really die the instant he took a sip? Think it over. This is vital.
You know what I think? I think that was a not-so-subliminal suggestion. End quote.
I think you're right. I think this should not be allowed, Judge. And jury who are watching on cameras. I admit it does cause a problem if he died when you say he died. I would be forced to say auf Wiedersehen to my simple case. That's goodbye, right? Maybe it was auf Wiedersehen. And you would be forced to say farewell to your article.
Come again?
You can't write a story based on conjecture, can you? And as the case drags on, other reporters will pick up the scent, and you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye. I don't think he likes that.
Scoop? Scoop? Look, wait! Oh, he's got a toothbrush in his pocket.
I was like, where did he get that from?
Look, wait, just wait a second, just 1 second.
We're waiting. Out with it.
I think I just recalled a so-called important detail. A revival recollection, end quote. A story survival, end quote.
Attorney utterly confused, end quote.
Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I've heard of poison that takes its sweet time, see?
But not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently. Mr. Brushel, are you saying you noticed something that happens... Sorry, that... I'm even worse today at reading than most days. Mr. Brushel, are you saying that you noticed something that explains what happened?
You bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote, you might say.
Or, I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say.
I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee.
Do ya? It's not Vera, is it? Please tell me no.
Order! Order! Order!
As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony. That Mr. Misham died the instant after he drank.
Of course I'm standing by my testimony, and my dream of exclusive rights to the story.
Ugh. I suppose it was too much to hope for.
What was?
Of course he wouldn't choose a simple case. Not him.
Him?
Phoenix Wright. Who else? Achtung, Herr Brushel. Report for us if you would. What is it that you noticed? I'm so confused, because this is a trial, obviously, for this new system, but I thought they said it was going to be like a computer simulation. Did I completely get that wrong? And there was all that computer stuff at the beginning. Okay, it surely comes into play later. I'm just trying to make sure I don't get caught in some kind of conspiracy of Matrix proportions.
This court is a critical trial of the jury system. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed.
Please. And a little better. What Brushel noticed?
When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course.
The only thing in there was the one from 7 years ago, though, right? Curious.
Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note?
You think he poisoned himself?
A suicide note.
Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation, end quote. Suicide. Poor Mr. Misham.
But that means Vera's innocent.
Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview?
Oh, I mean, I guess they might if they were... But I don't... That seems like a big leap, anyways. Especially for someone who was just saying that you don't like the conclusions and then jumping to thereof.
Very well, you may begin your cross-examination.
And hopefully we quickly put an end to it. Alright, at least that one was a bit shorter. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. Please let me... Why can't I forward it? Okay, sorry. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note?
Do you think Mr. Misham was writing a suicide note?
If he was, that would solve the case in a jiffy.
It kind of makes me wonder about that letter.
Yeah, because that was 7 years ago, right? I don't think I can just put that here, though. Does it say it was 7 years ago anywhere on this? Wait, why do I think this was from 7 years ago? Am I mixing it up with this? No, there was something said at this, right? Well, let me push on this and then just see if there's some kind of, like...
Hold it!
If there's some point where they're like, it was definitely written just now or something.
So he put the letter away when he saw you.
Early reporter gets worm, end quote. That's my secret.
I'm not sure I follow.
It's the night of the interview. I arrive 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in.
Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really?
Mr. Mitchum sure seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed that letter into that yellow envelope so as fast as he could. Okay, here's a detail I noticed. I know a secret when I spot one, and that was one. It does seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice?
I wonder. It does have the ring of something important. Yeah, please! The defense finds this testimony vital, Your Honor.
This is almost too easy at the moment. It feels like there are a lot of very obvious clues being thrust my way, and I can't tell if that's just by chance that these ones feel more obvious to me, or if there's some kind of setup going on here.
Very well, please add it to the testimony then. Hey, why not? My account comes free of charge. It was a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene.
There was no yellow envelope found at the crime scene!
As it just so happens, there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope.
What?
Oh, damn. Relax. Don't kill yourself on the podium. What is it actually called? The witness stand? The podium.
Prosecutor Gavin,
Yes?
was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime?
Unfortunately, no. But hair forehead. It's easy to mistake the color of an envelope. Not red for yellow.
I guess, but not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already. 7 years ago.
Okay, I didn't make that up. Good.
Well, Mr. Marshall, I can explain that. Drew, right? He wanted to get that letter in an envelope. Pronto. Get it out of sight of my beady eyes, right? So he grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed away.
And what about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction, chump?
Well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say to the witness's claim?
That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope.
Well, he didn't write it.
It's impossible. That's impossible.
Ah, I like your expression. So full of confidence.
It's simple, really. As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of this envelope. With, the assistance of forensics and scientists. What? Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Mitchum.
Oh?
Why would he address a letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself.
I've been scooped!
I do enjoy this guy's presence. It just really unnerves me.
Order! 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 Mr. Brushel, can you explain this to the court?
Oh, my. How could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets lots, end quote. You're 36.
I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Brushel.
Well, that's the thing, see? After he puts his letter in that envelope, Mr. Mitchum sat there searching his desk drawer for something. His desk drawer? I thought you said he, got all angry at you and got up and started coming towards you.
Yes, a stamp, a so-called postage stamp, end quote.
They're not so... That's what it is. It's not so-called.
A stamp? Whatever for? Well, to mail his letter, what else? And then, why, yes, I think I saw him put in his letterbox.
Yes, it was a yellow envelope. And he put it in that box. But it was found to be empty.
Well, apparently this yellow letter has nothing to do with the case. Oh, how I wish it did. Just think if that were a suicide note. What a story.
That's not tasteful, even remotely.
Star writes suicide note in front of reporter. Falls, end quote. Ahem. As I was saying, that has nothing to do with this case. That said,
Yes, Your Honor?
it makes me wonder about the contents of that red envelope.
This is the weirdest music we've had in the courtroom. I mean, obviously, we've heard the music elsewhere, but not in the courtroom. I didn't think in any of the games.
$100,000 is quite a good deal of money.
So this was from 7 years ago, yeah?
So, am I finished? Am I finished here? I was thinking of, going home to start writing.
No, all your testimony has been wrong.
I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that, rather unique face.
Ah, come on! Attorney has active imagination, little else, end quote. Even I noticed something, and my eyes aren't what they used to be. I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about.
Judge has active imagination, end quote.
God, the writing is top tier in this case.
Please, continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of a story. Hey, I'm the one asking the questions here.
usually. I feel like this guy doesn't have any, like, flesh on his gums. It's just all, like, raw muscle from how much he brushes it. I don't know why I said that, sorry. It's just, ugh.
Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leverage.
Are we not going to talk about the fact that the mailbox was empty?
Reporter leverages story gets his interview. End quote. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. The red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare.
Man, this must really all link up into the Phoenix and Kristoff case from before. I mean, I'm assuming that's where this is going. It must end up there somehow. In part because I know Phoenix is lawyered up again in the later games.
So you threatened to go to the press with this story. That's how you got your interview. Blackmail.
Well, yes.
I mean, no. It wasn't exactly black. I mean, I'm not... Something wrong, Mr. Russell? Look.
I'm looking.
This is my story, my tidbit. Journalist info is livelihood. End quote. I see. While you have me chatting away in here, what's going on out there? What if some Wally Wordsworth on Sally Scooper gets wind of my story? They could be going to press while I'm going to waste.
The court feels your pain, Mr. Russell. Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace.
A certain case 7 years ago. Wait, 7 years ago?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm confused. I'm sort of confused about where this cross-examination has gone. I have a perceived point, but I want to reread this. Hang on. Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leverages story gets his interview, end quote. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. That red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. That toastimony left a bad taste in my mouth.
It all makes sense. Nothing jumps out as ridiculous.
I wonder what this story he's talking about is. It must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that.
Something powerful enough to drag Drew Misham out of hiding. I wonder. Maybe it had something to do with Mr. Misham's art?
Sorry, that took a wild jump, and I think I got left behind, and maybe I spaced and missed something. He's saying now, I don't know how we got onto this topic, but now he's saying that he got an interview by not blackmailing him with some important thing from 7 years ago, and this was from 7 years ago, so we believe. I'm a little lost, but I'm gonna. Okay, what could possibly... The red envelope probably had something to do with it. Well, if you knew anything about the story... Well, I guess that doesn't make sense necessarily. I'm actually really not sure where to perceive it all. Let's try this one. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. Alright, none of that struck me as weird. Let's try another one. Reporter leverages story and gets his interview, end quote. Oh god, I don't like this close-up. Reporter leverages story. I'm not even sure what he would be lying about in any of this, to be honest. Gets his interview, so he's not lying about he was there, he did get an interview. End quote. Okay, I don't really understand what end quote would be a lie. Alright, actually it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. I think it was easy! No, I don't have an idea, but I'm just gonna perceive them all. Actually, it took a bit of work. Imagine if actually was the wrong thing. To get a thumbs up, I'm figuring like his shoulders will tense up or something, or maybe his nose will go on the interview. Okay, the red envelope probably had something to do with it. I guess this is probably the most pertinent thing because it relates to something we have evidence of. That red envelope probably had something to do with it. Nothing struck me as off there either. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. Say what you will. Maybe they're gonna say that it was Vera who did it or something. But Drew's talent was without compare. His eye twitch? No, it's my eye that's twitching. Okay, I didn't see anything weird in any of those. I'm gonna check the story one again and the last one again. Yeah. It makes sense that because it's the last case, they would make it a little harder to find the tell. Or perhaps there isn't a tell at all right now. But the way they said, like, maybe he's not lying about anything and I have to do evidence here and this is a black herring, a red herring. The way they said, nothing weird jumped out to me, made it sound like I was supposed to perceive here. Hang on, let me check this last one again. Say what you will. But Drew's talent, I'm looking just at his face this time, was without compare. I'm gonna hear again, but only look at his shoulders? Or like his sort of this area? Say what you will. But Drew's talent was without compare. Bugger. Hang on a sec. I might just have to be silent for this and try and find this. I'll be right back if and when I find it. If he didn't have such a tall, wiry frame, it would be much easier to see his whole body at once. It's possible that I don't have the right testimony yet and I have to press him a bit and get some more. But let me just check these all for the time being so I can say I did. Actually, I realized I didn't push on anything because I was all like, oh, I perceive, the second I saw it. So let me push on this. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. What case?
Hold it! A certain case, 7 years ago. Tell us, what case?
Let me state one thing, Mr. Attorney, and you can quote me on this. I can't talk about that case.
Why not?
It's about journalistic pride and staunchness and credibility and connections. Journalist reveals sources only over his dead body, end quote. So what'll it be? Gonna strangle me? Dead men don't tell tales, Mr. Attorney!
He sounds pretty determined not to talk.
Our chances of breaking his will aren't looking good. Alright, so not that. That red envelope probably had something to do with it.
Hold it! On the one hand, we have your story, and on the other, this letter. What makes you think the two are related?
Oh, I was just saying it's possible. Call it reporter's intuition, end quote. Hey, I say a lot of things. You're going to pick all of them apart? Be my guest.
All of them? No, just the incredibly suspicious ones.
I see. Anything else to add about Mr. Misham? Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare.
Hold it! Have you seen his daughter's smiley faces? They're perfect! Just how amazing was Mr. Misham's talent?
Huh? Wee boy, I mean, hey, he's a star, man, a star. The flow of his brush is like a great undulating river across the canvas. Artists paint light up studio like sun, end quote.
This guy is full of wacky gestures, but that one just now was wackier than usual.
He looks kind of nervous to me, Apollo.
Definitely. I'm sensing something different than before here. Maybe it's time to bring out you-know-what.
Okay, well, they straight up told me that time, do this testimony. Okay, so let me try this one again. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. And again, say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. Still don't see it. I feel like if it's gonna be anything, it's gonna be the Drew's talent statement. It's gonna be like someone else or something like that. Still didn't see it. I'm just gonna leave it focusing on like one part at a time. Each time now. It's entirely possible they didn't mean that that particular bit of testimony was weird, they just meant the whole thing was kind of weird. But so the way they said it sounded to me like this was the part that they were talking about. Alright, nothing funky with the toothbrush. Let me look right directly into his eyes this time. It's gonna be anything. It's gotta be like the nose, right? Because that was what they were just saying is like a thing he does. It twitches. It's the forehead now. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. And again, let's focus on the pen in his ear. Say what you will. But Drew's talent... I keep thinking I've seen twinkling up on the side of the screen, but it's just because of like the speed effects. Was without compare. Nada. Look at the chin. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. And again. Did this man just sweat? like, and then suck it back into his body? What the hell? Holy crap! Sorry. I need to see that again just for entertainment purposes. Look at this. Say what you will. Holy crap! Gotcha! Dang, that was a hard one to find though, because usually it's something animated, like it like animates back and forth, which is what I was looking for.
Sweat much, Mr. Brushel?
I mean, I would not have dry corners if I was in court on any side of it.
Yeah, well, a man can't help his glands, you know.
And with that insightful quote, we're gonna end this episode because I'm a little over time actually, because I spent a lot of time doing little stuff. But we're finally into the trial on this, and we got off to a good start. But it seems sort of like he's cleaning his glasses. Oh, and he's using it with his tongue. This guy is unchained. It feels like they're handing us a lot of freebies, like the way they very clearly said with the color of the envelope, and then like very clearly said he died instantly. I mean, I kind of missed that for a little bit. I can't tell if I'm just kind of getting lucky with where my head is at, or if there's something bigger at play here. I mean, I suppose we'll see. If we probably got 3 days of trial of this, so who knows what's gonna happen. And then we have a magic show to go to after that. Yay! Maybe Vera will take us. But enough about that, because for now, we've just found a lie in this man's armpits, and so next time we'll be able to actually see what that lie all together makes. And I hope that you will come back with me once again for Apollo Justice next time. So thank you very much for coming around, and hopefully I will see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here. Peace. Well, a firebomb. Let's try that. Throw that at these things, because I'm not gonna use them really anywhere else. Nice throw! Let's try that again. Nope, I'm invulnerable here, you see. Because of... I just decided that. It's about a mindset. Oh! Oh wait, I can just break...